What's going on, YouTube? On today's agenda, we're actually going to be removing my old worn leather OEM shift knob as well as the shift boot out of this car in order to replace it with BMW's OEM ZHP weighted shift knob as well as a custom Alcantara shift boot. So with that, let's hop into it. I actually wanted to go over what the build plans are for this car and why I'm dedicating a whole video to simply replacing the shift knob and the shift boot. So now that I've owned this car for a few months and I've seen all sorts of different builds on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot, I've decided that the route I'd like to go with this car is to build an OEM Plus inspired build. So that would include things like maybe lighter wheels, meatier tires, better suspension, all of which have absolutely nothing to do with the interior of my car and what we're doing in today's video. But what those things do have in common with today's plans are all of them move this car even closer to the end goal, which is a OEM Plus inspired build. So if you guys are at all familiar with the BMW platform, then you'd know that their higher end models, like their M models and their competition models and their CS models, all come with more race focused, sport designed features, unlike their base model counterparts. And while my car is unfortunately not an M, what I can do and what I plan to do is do the best that I can to add OEM Plus elements to this car to make it feel and look and drive as best as it possibly can, so I can enjoy this build the way I'd like to enjoy it. And so what we're going to be doing in today's video is not only improving the interior aesthetics of the car with the Alcantara shift boot, but we're also going to be improving the shift feel with the ZHP weighted shift knob. So a little bit of OEM Plus aesthetics and a little bit of OEM Plus feel to the car, which is ultimately the end goal. So with that, let's hop into it. So if you happen to have a manual transmission F10, I know they're a little more rare than the automatic versions. You might already know how to do this, but if not, the process for removing your shift knob and shift boot is pretty simple. Let me show you. So the way I do it is I'll just grab the leather here on the driver's side of the car. It's pretty easy to just kind of like fold it up and grab a piece. And I'll grab it and then I'll kind of push it in just a little bit till I pop this corner out over here. And once I have this corner out, I'll move over till I get the corner out from the passenger side. And then all I'll do, now that it's loose in the back, is I'll push in a little bit like that, because it's just a plastic frame, it's pretty bendy. I'll push in just a little bit till it snaps out from the driver's side corner, and then the whole frame is loose. And then all you do is you grab the knob and you lift up real hard and hope you don't smack yourself in the face. There's nothing else holding it on there. There's not any wires unless you have the M5, which has the illuminated shift knob, which that has a connector underneath that you'll have to unplug, but this one does not. So all you could do is grab it, lift up real hard, and then just like that, the shift boot and shift knob are officially out of the car. Now I'm not going to bore you with a how-to on how you can make your own Alcantara shift boot for your F10. The reason being is because I already have all of the materials on hand. I have the sewing machine, the Alcantara, the thread, and of course the knowledge on how to throw all this stuff together. And I can't imagine everybody watching this video is going to have all of that stuff available. And so because of that, instead of a how-to, this is simply going to be a process on how I developed my Alcantara shift boot. Alright, so at this point the OEM leather shift boot is all cut apart. If you notice though, I did not cut that seam out right there. I'm going to try to design this piece to only be two pieces when I make it in Alcantara. That seam right there is, I can only assume, designed to kind of flow with where this knob sat in the car with this little silver piece. It's supposed to just kind of like line up to right there, but because the new knob that I'm putting on doesn't have that, and for the ease of not having to try to throw three pieces together, I think what we're going to try to do is just template this piece as one piece instead of two separate pieces, and then that piece, and then that way I'll just have the seams that go to this corner and to this corner, and not randomly to right here, which is where it was on the OEM boot. So with that, let's get into templating. So at this point, the templates are officially cut. They've been laid and the Alcantara is cut out. So at this point, I could throw all the pieces together, assemble the boot, and attach it to the frame. Here we go. Alright, so it's a few hours later and I finished up putting together the Alcantara shift boot. Let me show you guys. It's actually a better angle. It looks a little funky right now just because there's a plastic frame that I decided to glue it onto. This one for some reason comes stapled. The leather one is stapled all around. All the old BMWs like the E36 and the E46 and all those ones, they're all glued from factory, and this one came stapled. So this is my method of just gluing it. I've glued all around and then I just hold it on with clamps and whatnot, and I let it sit for like an hour. But here it is. It looks perfect. It looks super, super awesome. Exactly the same design as OEM. It's not some one-off boot that one size fits all. It's actually the same exact design as the leather one. That's why I cut it out and made templates out of it, so it would mimic the same exact design. But looks sweet. We'll let it dry for about an hour, then we'll toss it in along with the weighted shift knob, and we'll check it out then. Alrighty, you guys, the boot is officially finished and time for install. Let's see if we can get it in there. I'll get this corner in first, just like you do with the leather one. Oh yeah. Oh, we're in there, guys. Oh, we are in there. And the new ZHP weighted 6-speed knob. Let's see, here we go. Oh my gosh, it looks so good, you guys. Let me take this off of the stand here and show you. Wow, that looks so awesome, you guys. Perfect fitment around the edges. And now it matches my Alcantara trim and armrest. Slowly getting all of these pieces done. Awesome. So that about wraps up this video today. It was pretty simple, nothing super fun and super gnarly today, just a couple aesthetic pieces and the weighted shift knob, which I'm excited to drive the car and see how that feels. But otherwise, nothing super gnarly today. I appreciate you guys checking it out. If you liked it, leave a comment or let me know down below. Maybe give it a thumbs up. And until the next one, peace.